All right, I am pumped to be joined now by just a stud for the Milwaukee Brewers, Christian Yelich. Christian, thanks so much for hopping on, man. I appreciate it.
You got it, dude. Thanks for having me.
Of course. First off, I know you're a California guy. Just want to make sure everything's okay with you, your family, with these fires out here. It's wild out here. So everything okay with you?
Yeah, I'm all good. My family's all good. Some close calls, but obviously pretty fortunate compared to a lot of people out here. And yeah, man, it's been pretty crazy and a wild few weeks. A lot of sad stuff, and just trying to help out where we can.
For sure. We're gonna talk about that and your partnership with California Strong. And I first want to ask you personally getting ready for this upcoming season. I know you had back surgery in August. You good to go? How's things looking for spring training? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm all good. Just progressing through my rehab, doing that whole stuff, but feel good. Just doing the usual ramp up into spring training, and
Good.
then we'll kind of just go from there once we get there and feel it out. But definitely feeling good.
We love that. We
Yeah.
love that. So I want to ask you in 2018 with Ryan Braun and Mike Moustakas started California Strong.
Hmm.
And I know I mentioned everything going on out here. I live in Los Angeles, and you with California Strong have partnered with Easton and Rawlings to really help out with everything going on. So I'll let you explain what you're currently doing and how you're helping out with things.
Yeah. So yeah, me, myself, Bronny, Moose, Mike Attanasio, who's his family owns the Brewers, and Jared Goff kind of partnered together in 2018 and started California Strong. Just to At that time, it was just to help out with the Woolsey fire, which is another a bad one that happened out here.
Okay.
Like I guess it's 7 years now, which is crazy. But so now this one, we're kind of partnered with Easton and Rawlings to just try to help get people back on their feet who lost their facilities, lost their gear, their baseball gear, baseball and softball players that lost their stuff in the fires because, like as you saw and as you know, like they come through and they rip through that area pretty fast, and you only have so much time to grab
Yeah.
stuff if you have time to really get anything. If you're not home, then like
Yeah.
you don't really have a chance to get anything. So
And you're really
all
not grabbing baseball stuff.
yeah, and baseball stuff's probably not super high on the
Yeah.
list of things to grab if you only have so much stuff to carry. So a lot of kids lost all their gear, and a lot of them lost their facilities and in places they played little league and softball and all that stuff. So we partnered with Rawlings and Easton to try and just help raise some money. It's obviously um, not going to be anywhere near enough to get
Yeah.
everything back, but just small gestures and just to be able to help some people out or give a little bit to a lot of people, is huge. And that's kind of been our goal with this year, and just try to help out a little, do what we can. It's just little gestures to show people that
Yeah.
like, we support them and we understand that it's a tough time. This is really sad what's gone on out here the last few
For
weeks.
sure. And I know a lot of people, from things I've heard around here, people that listen or watch the show have always wondered how they could help or
Mm-hmm.
where to look to help. How can people help with what you're currently doing with California Strong and Easton and Rawlings? If somebody's listening or watching right now,
Mm-hmm.
how can they directly help what you're doing?
Yeah, if you go to californiastrong.org, and the cool thing about it is we're partnered with the YMCA, so they kind of vet, make sure everything's like legit on people looking for money or help, and it allows us to give all the money to them, instead of just like you do a GoFundMe or something. People they take like a portion of what
Yeah.
you donate. So californiastrong.org is the website kind of has all the info there where you can donate, kind of see the different causes and stuff like that. So they do some great stuff, man. And obviously it wouldn't be possible without the YMCA. They've helped us out a ton. Kind of learned a lot about the charity components here over the last few years. And unfortunately, these wildfires kind of keep popping up, so if people can donate or help out what they can, it's obviously greatly appreciated. If you can't, that's cool too. It's just kind of more about bringing awareness to the whole deal, and just getting it out there.
Yeah, it's insane, man. Well, it's really cool what you're doing. Again, I know you're Thousand Oaks guy. You're from out here.
Mm-hmm.
I want to transition to baseball a little bit, and I mean we'll stick in Los Angeles because I feel like you know with what the Dodgers are doing out here, it's a big talking point amongst a lot of people, and players have spoken out about it, and just the deferred money and everything there. Where do you, how do you feel about this? I know any team can do it, but when you're sitting back watching what the Dodgers are doing in the front office, are you thinking, man, I wish every team would do this? Or are you thinking, man, we need to figure this out?
No, I mean, look, they won the World Series last year. They're going for it again. Obviously, they got better. It looks like from last year, and if you're a fan of the team or you're on the team, you're obviously super excited about it, and it's cool that
Yeah.
their front office, their ownership group, like supports their team and wants to be like the best version that they can be throughout the year. Like obviously, you don't know what's going to happen over the course of a baseball season, but on paper, they obviously look really good. They've got some super talented players like all stars and Hall of Famers up and down the roster, basically every position. So, they're deep, they're very talented, but you never know what can happen. It's gonna, you still got to play the games, you still got to win the games, and but yeah, I mean, they're a great team on paper for sure.
I was wondering this last year when watching you guys, y'all had a really good year. I don't know if at the beginning of the year people expected you guys to be as good as you were. Ended
Mm-hmm.
up a force and played well into October. You were having a really good year, and I was watching obviously in MVP conversations a few years ago, and then last year kind of back to that form, and swing looked great and a little bit different. So I was wondering when watching you, did you last off season work on your swing? Obviously, you worked on your swing, but what did you focus on last offseason to get back to where you were? I mean, you were killing it last year before the injury.
Yeah, I mean, I played around with a lot of stuff in the season before that. I think in 2023,
Hmm.
started loading a little different toe tap, trying to just control my body, get my body to work how I
Yeah,
wanted it to,
yeah,
and obviously kind of figured out why that was the case halfway through last year, how to get some stuff cleaned up and do that whole deal. But yeah, I was just try to get like a good place to hit like consistently, with timing wise and just being a good hitting position as
yeah.
consistently and as often as I could. And like there's a lot of ways to go about it. Some guys leg
Well,
kick, some guys tap, like but
yeah,
everyone kind of gets to the same spot when they hit at some point. And like I was like, I just want to be able to do this like consistently and be in a good spot as often as I can. And like
yeah.
if I can do that, like I know I can still be successful. I just wasn't getting to that spot in previous years, or I was doing it but not as often as I needed to, or inconsistent. So it's like I just need to figure out how I can do this.
And
Like
the toe tap helped.
yeah, just like smaller moves and like be able to control your body a little bit better. And,
Yeah,
just be on time and be in a good position to hit like as consistent as possible. Like obviously that sounds super easy, but it's not.
it's not.
Anybody
No.
that's played baseball like knows like that's hard to do. But
Yeah,
you try to make it as easy on yourself as you can. And like there's no one way to hit. Like everyone's got to be in like certain positions at certain times and stuff
yeah,
like that. But like how you get there, like it doesn't really matter. So
yeah,
I was like, I can, I hit with the leg kick for a really long time, and then I was like, well, I bet you I could do this a different way, and
yeah.
played around with it. And doing it during the season is probably not recommended. It's a little risky, but I was like, I'm going to do this. And I think in hitting, like anytime you do anything in hitting, like you got to be committed to it. You don't want to be like half in, half out, because then like you never really go anywhere, because then you're like,
Yeah.
well, I'll just go back to what I was doing. It's like once you make a change in hitting, it's like you have to be convicted in that change and put everything you have into like making that the best version it can be, because it gives you mental freedom, and then you actually like make progress at it.
Yeah.
If you're not really committed to it, it's not good.
I was half-assed with a lot of changes in the minor leagues, and when you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to hit 100 with 90-mile-an-hour sliders, that's why I'm sitting here right now. If you
Yeah.
can't if you can't commit to something, you're gonna screw yourself, and that's
Yeah,
hitting's hard.
It's a hard thing to do, man. It's really hard. Some guys make it look easy, but it's a really hard thing, and we gotta just make it as easy on ourselves as possible.
For
It's
sure.
like dumb it down in like its simplest form, and like that's always been like my thing about hitting is like, what are you trying to accomplish? Like each person is different. What their thoughts are and their feels are all different. Like what I think about is different than what you think about, but like
Yeah.
as a hitter, you should think about like, all right, what's my goal? Like, what do I want
Yeah.
to do? Like, what position do I want to be in? It's like, okay, I want to do that. It's like, cool. How am I going to get there as consistently as
Yeah.
possible? And then that's how you like build a swing, and
Yeah.
each person like builds their swing different, right? But you have to have goals and objectives and like sit down
Yeah.
and think about it and not just like mindlessly swing, because then you don't get anywhere. You
Yeah.
have to have a plan. And yeah, that's kind
Yeah.
of that's
Did
the
you ever,
soapbox
and
speech. But
no, I mean,
yeah,
I could dive in and talk about hitting all day long because it's fascinating to me, the mindset. We could talk to 10 minor leaguers, ex minor leaguers, 10 big leaguers, and everybody would say a different thing, and everybody does it differently, including a former manager of yours at this point. But you ever think about one time just going up there to hit like Craig Counsell and twirl yourself all up and try and figure it out that way?
no, I asked him why he did that one time. I was like, why? What? Like, how did we get to that? Take me. It's like take me through like that thought process. And he's like, well, I was just like kind of bouncing around and like trying to, find ways to get a hit. And I was like, I need to do something drastic. Is what he says. So he's like, I just went with that. That's what he said about it when he was still our manager. But Counsell's a
That's
great dude, man.
incredible.
He was fun to play with. But yeah, it's like everybody has their own thing, and
Yeah.
you're constantly adjusting as a hitter. Like you're not ever the same. Like you're constantly evolving, making tweaks, making adjustments, because the longer you play, like the higher levels you go up, like you always have to
Yeah.
adjust. And the guys that are great at adjusting are the ones that stick around for a long time, and then guys that don't. So that's how it
Yeah,
goes.
I hear
That's how
that.
it goes.
You're an outfielder. Hall of Fame voting just took place. I got to ask you because I get fired up about this every year. How is Andrew Jones not a Hall of Famer?
I don't know, man. Sometimes like that voting process makes a lot of sense, and then sometimes it doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I don't know. Like I don't know what goes into it, or people obviously have their reasons for why they vote for some guys and why they don't vote for others. So I don't really know. That one's probably a pretty confusing one, because
Yeah.
you would think the resume is there and like what he accomplished was pretty special. But I don't know. I mean, hopefully it happens one day. I think
Yep.
it probably will. But
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, and it was cool to see Ichiro get in there. Being able to play with him for a few years was awesome. We all knew he was going to be a Hall of Famer, but once it's official, it's still pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, what a legend.
Yeah, absolute legend. I was
Yeah.
gonna say when people talk Ichiro, and if anybody were to say, name a teammate of Ichiro Suzuki, I know Christian Yelich doesn't come to top of mind to many people, but you guys did play together for a little while down there in
Yeah.
Miami. I need I need your best that you can tell Ichiro story that comes to mind. The dude's seemingly hysterical.
Yeah, I mean, he was an awesome teammate. He really would like, he'd interact with the guys, and was one of the boys throughout the whole season,
Yeah.
and like when you first see that you're going to play with Ichiro, like obviously when someone like that comes into a team, everyone's kind of like, well, how's it going to be? Like there's certain guys that you play with, especially when like you're a young player where like it's just different,
Yeah.
where it's like, someone's going to be a Hall of Famer. You like grew up watching them. Like we all grew up watching Ichiro
Yeah.
dominate with the Mariners. So like you're about to be his teammate. You're like, oh wow, how's this going to be? But it was awesome. He was super cool, and like I learned a lot from him as far as like how routine oriented he was. Like he was playing. He played a lot with us, but he didn't play like every day. But he still
Yeah.
did like the same thing every day, like the same routine, same times. Like the way he carried himself, like never took off days. Like even when like the team had an off day or like you travel or something, he would still goes into the field, throws, hits, runs with his guy Allen, who's with him. But yeah, it was awesome, man. And just like seeing him get 3,000 hits and just being there, like at that point in his career, like every time he scored a run or got a hit, he was passing like somebody like that's a legend in baseball, So it was cool to like watch all those milestones and just like be around him for all that,
Yeah.
and see somebody who's done it at that level for like that long, and kind of pick his brain about just baseball and hitting and kind of how he went about it was really cool.
That's so cool for you to be able to. I mean, we we all grew up like you're imitating certain swings in the backyard. Gary Sheffield's one from the
Mhm.
right side, and from the left is Ichiro and doing the shoulder thing, and then you get to
Yeah,
play with him like after all that.
yeah.
That's
We
that's
had
got to
some
be
cool guys on that team, man. Like, it kind of flies under the radar, like you said, but like there's some cool like people around in those Miami days. Like Barry was the hitting coach at
yeah.
one point. Uh, Donnie Mattingly was the manager. He had Ichiro, Stanton, like Real Muto, Ozuna, like just like all these guys that were great players, went on to be great players, or some Hall of Famers, which that's pretty cool. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
happen like a lot of places, besides like the Dodgers now. But uh, there's a lot of cool guys down there, and it was fun like learning from all those guys as like a young player, and getting to watch them and talk to Barry about hitting, or Donnie, or Ichiro, or
Yeah.
um, really whoever. And like I learned a lot there early in my career.
Yeah. Barry Bonds, greatest hitter of all time?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I do.
Like if you've played the game, like you just like all the other stuff kind of like aside, you still know like that was unbelievable.
He's the greatest hitter.
Yeah, and if you like know like a swing and hitting, and like you can see like for yourself of like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this is like this super high level stuff, that he's doing. And like if you go like, I know baseball guys get bored all the time and like go look at Barry's stats for like from those like peak years. This is even real life. You couldn't go back to high school and do that, and he was doing that in the big leagues.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
like 1,400 OPSs and stuff like that. Whereas this looks fake, dude. 600 on base percentages and stuff like that. Like this
Insane.
isn't, guys can't even do that for a week. He's doing it for years.
Exactly.
Crazy,
I
yeah.
completely agree. Christian, thanks so much for hopping on, man. And the important stuff is what you're doing out here with California Strong, with Easton and Rawlings for the Fire. So thanks for hopping on and talking that and talking some baseball. Big fan of yours on the field, and now big fan of yours off, man. Really appreciate you hopping on.
Yeah, I appreciate it, dude. I know we've kind of been meaning to do this for like a few years. Just never really lined it up and stuff like that. So I'm glad we finally
All it takes is a fire.
Yeah, I'm glad we finally got to do it, man. Obviously wish it was under better circumstances.
Yeah.
But yeah, appreciate you bringing awareness to the cause, and it's always good talking baseball. So I'm sure I'll see you around, and yeah, thanks again for having me, dude.
Of course. Sounds good, man. Good luck this year.
All right, dude. I appreciate it.